Alrighty, and now for our duck, again, we'll start off with our 2 6/60s, yellow for our body this time. Set those aside. We're going to make his head. Now, before we do that, we need to do his beak. There we go. Getting ahead of myself. What we need to do is take an orange 360, and it's got about 2 to 3 inches uninflated on the end. We're going to start with making 2 small fold twists. These are each about the width of my hand there. There's the first one. And the second one. And then squeeze the air all the way up just about to the end. We're going to take and bring that around and make a giant loop. And then take that loop, divide it into 2, and bring those down to his beak. There's our duck's beak. I'll set that aside while I grab my yellow 6/60 so we can make our duckie's head. We're going to take the yellow 6/60 and then a white 3/60 that we've only blown up about 12, 14 inches. We're not going to get all that. I'm going to tie the 2 ends of those together. Then I'm going to take my beak, and where they're connected, in the middle of the 4 fold twists, we're going to twist that in, making his head. That. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take out of the yellow, twist about a 5 or 6 inch bubble, and then a white one the same way. Actually, the white one's going to be a little longer than that. I'm going to lay it along until it comes up into there and twist it in. So you can see how it sort of lays along the yellow there. And we're going to make another bubble, same size as the first out of our yellow. Come down into his head again. Into the beak, I mean. These are always fun. Okay, there we go. They get a little distorted in the process, but you can always straighten them back up. There we go. Got it. Now we're going to take and make another eye. I'm going to pull that over a little bit, and then lay this along up inside there and do the same thing coming back down. So that it lays up inside that groove there. Twist it around the time or 2 to secure it. Then we're going to pop this excess off. We don't need it anymore. And there we have our duck's head. And with the penguin, I used the 6/60 white for the eyes. It gave him a bigger head. I did this so you can see a different look. And you can see by going with the 3/60 eyes, with the 6/60 back of the head, his eyes now set inside of his head. And you've got some of his head sticking out on the sides there. Just gives him a little different look. Choose whichever one you like. If you prefer the 2 6/60s, go with that. If you prefer 3/60 and the 6/60, work with that as well. You've got options. I like having options. That way I can make things look differently and then I don't get bored. Okay, now we're going to come down. Make about a 4 or 5 inch bubble for his neck. Make a small round bubble and make that a pinch twist. And then because he's going to have no legs or anything on the front like the cow, I'm going to make just a small round bubble there. Well, go ahead and bite the end off of that. Or cut a hole in it. And bring it down to a small round bubble. That's easier that way. This will make his head stand up straight. Just tap it off and you get it to the size that you want. So there's our duck's head. Then we're just going to take that, attach it to the front of his body. And of course, at this point, whichever end is the front is whichever end you attach his head to. The other end will be the tail. So there's our duck's head. Now we just need to add his tail, and we're going to give him feet. Similar to our penguin. I'm going to start with the tail. I've got a yellow 3/60 here blown up, maybe about 5 or 6 inches uninflated. Ducks don't have a really long tail. I'm going to start with 2 pinch twists on the end. And then however long you want your tail, just make a full twist. I'm going to make it about 11 inches or so. Pop off the excess. And then we're just going to take that and attach it here at the back. And because he's swimming, you can't really see his feet, so you don't have to add feet if you don't want to. That's just a personal preference thing. What I'm going to do is put a pinch twist there. One is tucked up inside the body here, and one is on this outside, so his tail stands up like that. Just makes him extra cute. If you want to stop here, you can, because if he's swimming, you're not going to see his feet. So you can have your duck there. If you want to add some feet, the easiest way to do it is like I did the penguin flippers, if you've already seen that one. I'm just going to take a 660, or excuse me, a 360 that I've blown up nearly end to end. I'm going to tie it into a loop. Divide it into 2 equal bubbles. And then just twist those off so that you get a figure 8 or a bow. And then you just attach that back on the back here, where his tail is. There we go. You put his 2 feet going down like that. You put one pinch twist in between his feet, the other up on top, so that everything sits nice and pretty. And now he's got feet. And there's your duck.